locally here in Nashville, I don't recall national media members retweeting highlights of a Henry touchdown run in Week 14 last year in a 2,000-yard season on his way to a 2,000-yard season with words like MVP-like performance. Ian Rappaport's doing that Saturday night as Jonathan Taylor puts the game away in the fourth quarter with that long touchdown run against the Patriots, and Taylor's not even close to Henry's production. Now, I am also not going to sit here and say that he should not be in the conversation, because I believe if you wanted Henry to be in the conversation last year, you by all means should want Jonathan Taylor in the conversation now. If you want running backs getting more run and respect around the league compared to Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, which they're in the running for MVP, and right now it's Aaron Rodgers' award, you want Jonathan Taylor mentioned here, don't you?
Yes. But through 14 games, they are comparable last year. I mean, if you add in the receiving yards, and Taylor is more of a receiver than Henry will ever be.
Well, that's fair. I'm not adding in the receiving yards.
Okay. Well, even the rushing yards, I mean, Henry had 1679 through 14 games. Taylor has 1518, so Henry was ahead.
Well, but
if you add in the receiving yards, and this is on fewer touches, 340 touches for Henry last year, 1793 and 15 touchdowns. 306 touches for Taylor right now, 1854 and 19 touchdowns. So more touchdowns, more total yards as a back who plays more downs but has fewer touches. So there's a case that he's comparable to Henry. I wouldn't be pissed about that. I would be pissed off on a Titans
real quick,
fan.
Well, hang on. He's 500 yards off the pace that Henry ended with last year. Henry accomplished that in 16 games, and Taylor will have the extra game, and he's still 500 yards away from doing anything close to what Henry did on the ground.
He needs a big finish also. I would be pissed. I get what you're saying about you want him in the conversation so somebody like Henry could be in the conversation next time.
Yeah.
I still, if I'm a Titans fan, I'd say hell no. I'd be pissed. There was no national media consciousness of Henry, even to mention him last year, even to mention him. And now all of this hype with Jonathan Taylor, I do believe there's a little bit of hard knocks to this, not necessarily from the media perspective, but from NFL Network touting it because they're connected to the NFL Films and NFL Films show and all of that. I do think there's some intertwining of that. And I just don't understand why else. Why last year on a team that won its division was there no hype for Henry, and this year on a team that's probably not winning its division is there all of this hype? I don't want to hear that there's some quarterback tiredness. Nobody's tired of Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers, we talked about yesterday, is unbelievable right now. I think he will ultimately win it, but I think Taylor's going to get some votes. And a year after Henry got none, I just don't understand how this people are measuring.
Well, ultimately he'll win Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, that's what
is what Henry did, right?
Yeah, and that's what happens to the skill
best
position
non-quarterback
players, right?
But you've got a candidate here.
There's a different topic to be had on Taylor. Yeah, I mean, for all the discussion that we're giving Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp deserves the same, if not more, conversation for most valuable player or offensive player of the year. He has the chance to be the first 2,000-yard receiver in NFL history. I get it, extra game, but these are not hollow yards that he's putting up. Calvin Johnson came close to a 2,000-yard season back in 2012. No player in NFL history has been as impactful of a wide receiver to his offense as Kupp has been so far this season, if we're looking at the body of work that we have right now. Last week, he had a season-high 13 catches, 123 yards. That's a season-high in catches, yes, but that's also a game where he just shows you who he is at his best. He's had 83 catches over his last 9 games, and he's averaging 9 catches a game this season for the Rams. To put that in perspective, the Titans have had one 9-catch game from one player all year, and this dude's averaging 9 catches a game. Devontae Adams has had 3 such games all year of 9 catches or more. And that's the comparable match at wide receiver for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's potentially 17 games or not, and there'll be a lot of poo-pooing of it. He's potentially going to set new records for receptions in a year and receiving yards in a year.
He's averaging 114 receiving yards per game. Devontae Adams is averaging 96.
And Julio Jones is the all-time leader for a career at 96. So, I mean, he's substantially higher than the best guy all time. Now, one season, of course, but I mean, that just for context.
And I'm not trying to pit Kupp against Rodgers because, again, I think Rodgers is winning the award based on his play and what he's done.
Put him in the conversation.
Kupp deserves it because just take it a step further. The Rams' run game, they're bottom 10 in the league in running the football. And when you look at Kupp's production, you can go yards and catches, and you're saying, okay, what does he actually do for the team? You know, he's picking up. It's not scrap yards at the end of the game. 82 of his catches have gone for either a first down or a touchdown this season. And that is high volume production at an elite level that you're not seeing on an annual basis in this league. I think the offense across the league is down top to bottom. This guy is among the best we've ever seen playing the position currently.
Well, I mean, offense may be down a little bit, but there are stud wide receivers all over the place. And emerging young wide receivers. You look at Jefferson last night, and guys like A.J. Brown, who's not playing particularly well this year. But there are more good young wide receivers coming in from college on a regular stream than ever before in the history of the league, arguably. And this guy is separating himself from them.
I like watching players that I believe will be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame and knowing that I'm living in the era of watching the guy in real time. Cooper Kupp. So there has been one wide receiver in NFL history that has had a season of 1,400 or more yards receiving, combining that with 15 touchdowns or more and 120 catches. That dude was Jerry Rice. Right now, Cooper Kupp is on pace. Again, the extra game, but even with the 16 games, he would be on pace for that. He's on pace right now for 140 receptions, 15 or more touchdowns, and 1,900 yards. And again, he could be the first 2,000-yard receiver in a single season. That, to me, deserves more conversation than what we're paying attention with in Indianapolis with Jonathan Taylor. And I'm not trying to knock Jonathan Taylor, but I've seen it before. I saw it last year with Derrick Henry.
Yep.
I've seen it. I have not seen this in a long time.